Hello masters, it's Edelweiss. This is a tutorial video that will teach you how to make a good Minion Masters deck. I will explain the main rules of Minion Masters deck building and some important tips that will help you build your deck. This video is more useful to beginner players, but experienced players will also benefit from this information. So, let's start the deck building. You could say that deck building requires a lot of thinking and testing. This is true, but there is also an algorithm that you can follow to help build your deck. There are several rules in general to deck building that, if you follow, your deck will be very strong. Here are the 5 rules of deck building. First, you should have an average mana cost of around 3.5 mana. Second, you should have around 8 minions and 2 spells. Third, your deck should be able to counter flying minions, big minions and swarm units. The fourth rule is that you should have only 1 or 2 specialized cards in your deck. The fifth one is that you must have a strategy with a win condition. Your strategy can be early aggression or reaching mana frenzy faster. These are general rules. Of course, you can break these rules. For example, you can have a deck with 3.5 mana, or you can have 7 minions and 3 spells. But try to stick to these rules and take them as default, and I guarantee that your decks will be stronger. Now that you know the algorithm, let me explain the ways of building a deck. First, you can choose your master that you want to build your deck for. For this example, I will choose King Puff as my starting master. Then, you must read carefully the master abilities and perks. King Puff has a slow, short-ranged attack, but its attack is very strong. The attack of King Puff is good for dealing against high-health minions like Warrior and Whirly Scrat, but it is weak against swarm units and ranged units. His perks give him a good bridge control and make 4 and 5 mana minions really strong. Now that you know your master's strengths and weaknesses, you have to build your deck around them. You have to exploit your strengths and defend your weaknesses. First, I will focus on King Puff's second perk, which empowers 4 and 5 mana minions. Knowing the rules of deck building, I will put the following cards to my deck: Drone Walker, Drone Buzzers, Fire Imp, Spear Throwers and Defense Chopper. Drone Walker is a good card that can help me deal with ranged units and flying minions. It has good damage per second and it is 4 mana, so it will get stronger from my second perk. Drone Buzzers are similar to Drone Walker, but they are flying, so they will be more difficult to kill. Fire Imp is again 4 mana, and knowing King Puff's second perk, he will get stronger. He can deal with swarm units and he can kill big units. Spear Throwers get empowered and can deal with flying units. They are also good for bridge control and defense. Defense Chopper is the final card that I added to my deck. It can deal with swarms of units and against melee units. Keeping the rules in mind, I have 2 ways of dealing with flying minions: Drone Buzzers and Drone Walker. 1 way of dealing with big minions, this is my Fire Imp, and 2 options of dealing with swarm units, again Fire Imp or Defense Chopper. I want to have 1 more way of killing big units, so I will add 1 spell to my deck, Beam of Doom. It is a very good spell. It can be used both for phase damage and killing big units, but it is very costly. This is the core of the deck with most of the important cards. You can counter your opponent's minions and you can attack with the strong push. From this point on, you can finish the deck however you like, but keep in mind the rules and your master's strengths and weaknesses. This deck is very costly and has a very high average mana, so I will bring some cheap minions for cycle and bridge control. I add Scrat Pack, Propeller Scrats and Swarmers. Finally, I will add a wall because it can help me defend early when I am weak and allow me to get to the late game with more life. So, our deck is finished. I followed the rules, but I bent them a little according to my master's strengths and weaknesses. I used more minions than spells because my master empowers my minions, so I focused there. King Puff may have a higher mana cost deck because of his abilities to empower higher cost minions, so having a higher average mana cost is not dangerous. I have different ways of countering my opponent cards, and I have a strategy and a win condition: to use my empowered minions for a win, or to wait and get to Mana Frenzy before my opponent. My final notes are the following. First, add the core cards of your deck. They represent your main idea of the deck. After that, add other cards by following the 5 rules. Don't forget that you can bend the rules in your favor. And finally, test your decks on the arena and don't be afraid to experiment and try different combinations. So, thanks for watching, Masters. I hope you liked this video and found it informative. Write down in the comments any new decks that you built with following these 5 rules. So, bye and thanks for watching.